What was I? Oh yeah. Alright, so I've been making videos on this channel for about a good 2 years now, mostly consisting of terrible advice and giving people less reasons to live. But if you've taken a closer look at my content, maybe a little magnifying glass, if you will, you'll notice that something is amiss. Something is missing.
Where the fuck is the mastering tutorial?
Oh god, how could this be? Where have I been all this time? How could I forget such an essential technique? And more importantly, how much anti-money have I missed out on by not making this video sooner? Oh, imagine how different things could have been. I could be watching diaper hypnosis videos on my What the fuck is this line? I'd be surprised if anyone knew I still exist. What is life? What is my purpose? All these wasted years. I guess it was all for nothing. Nothing left for me to do now but to pull the plug. What? What's that? I don't have any friends. Oh my god. It's beautiful. The reason I haven't made a mastering tutorial yet is because I'm trash. I've been struggling with this shit for years, and only now have I started to figure out what the fuck I'm doing, which will make this video a lot more useful than if I did it while my channel was still relevant. So finally, here it is. How to master your shitty music.
Online mastering.
So a bunch of companies have finally cracked the code to make your music sound like the second coming of Christ just by simply dragging and dropping your song into their website and then handing over whatever's left in your checking account. What an incredible feat of technology. A prime example of these groundbreaking advancements is built into good old SoundCloud. First up, you go to your song, and you click these 3 little dots, and then you click Master Track. Then you're told to find a sweet spot, selecting preview. Yeah, I'm gonna find the fucking sweet spot. What am I gonna pick?
This is what it sounds like.
Alright, then click continue. No, get up, get a drink, go jack off. Do whatever you need during this time. Don't worry, we're in the good hands of Dolby. After waiting for 20 minutes, we get to pick from 4 different masters. Now keep in mind that all of these are going to make your music sound significantly worse. Let's just crank up the intensity. So this one allows you to turn down your music by 10 decibels for no fucking reason. Make your car speakers rumble and club system shake. We'll push your bass frequencies to the limit. Okay, maybe I'm screwing this up. Maybe I need to turn it up all the way. Oh, it is up all the way. Who would have fucking thought? Let's try out sunroof. I'm sure this one's great. Alright, well that sounds like I'm playing it through cell phone speakers. How about Aurora? Something ethereal, light, and wavy. This will infuse even the most experimental tracks with a new burst of color. Holy shit. That sounds awesome. That sounds sweet. Try that shit out. Clear Sky. This one's gotta be P. Wow. It sounds like I'm playing it through a seashell. Now that is sweet. That is actually just what I needed. After you click next, you have the pleasure of taking out your wallet to pay $5 for something that costs them absolutely nothing. This is a great deal. Luckily for me, I'm pay for SoundCloud Pro, which allows me to make my music shittier a whopping 3 times per month. Now there's tons of services like this, and they're all great. Honestly, no one's ever gonna be able to master to this level, so I'd honestly just recommend you stop watching this video now. Thank you, AI, I hate mastering. But if for some stupid reason you wanna master the music yourself like a fucking dumbass that loves wasting their time, I've compiled everything I know to help you get a good master. Obviously significantly worse than these AI masters, but, you know, we can't all be perfect. Your mix. So when you start a new project in FL, it's by default gonna have this limiter here. And for all intensive purposes, What the fuck does all intensive purposes mean? For all intensive purposes, I like to have this off. Let's say I want massive bass. If I have the limiter on by default here, it's gonna be an issue because the more I boost the bass, the more I'm clipping off the entire song. So you're gonna like keep turning up the bass and you're like, why can't I hear it? Because this thing's on. And that gets to my next thing, which is the levels. In most songs, you pretty much want to keep your levels good. Now, what do I mean by that? That's a great question. Anyways, this doesn't make any fucking sense. Let's move along.
Loudness.
So loudness is one of the most important aspects when it comes to getting a good master, because basically streaming services will lower the volume however they see fit depending on how loud they think your track is, which is measured in LUFS. Oh, LUFS. Oh, LUFS. Oh, no. The annoying part about LUFS, it's not an effective way to determine how loud the song actually sounds. It's just what the computer measures the loudness to be. Two songs can have the exact same amount of measured LUFS, but one can sound way quieter because LUFS is a bad way of measuring it. But that's what the streaming services use, so you kind of have to care a little bit. Here's this loudness penalty. So basically what this is showing me here is if I upload this to streaming services, which I will, it's gonna be lowered to this amount for each one. I'm not sure how accurate this is. It looks like I actually did a pretty decent job. Spotify normalizes tracks to -14 LUFS, okay? People will say, and things about mastering will say, you have to master at -14 LUFS, so then it'll be good because then you won't be getting distorted by the stupid Spotify compression. But if you do that, you're an NPC. The reality is that no one besides old head engineers makes to that level. And in reality, I don't think like old head engineers that are good are mixing to that level because they don't care. But people who think their songs are really missing something or are really, oh God, really internalize this advice and they're like, oh yes, it's so much better. But no, your song is gonna sound way quieter than most songs because most people don't give a fuck about this. In the past, when I've tried to mix and master the correct way, it always sounds terrible, and I'd much rather have a bit of shitty Spotify compression than an ass mix. Also, as you can see here, all these streaming services have different standards, so it's not like mixing it to a perfect 14 LUFS is gonna make your song sound perfect on all platforms. It's just gonna make it so it sounds the way it was intended. The first time I ever noticed this is there's this song called She's Yours with like a bunch of exclamation points. I remember when I first heard this, I was like, God damn, this shit hits.
Dinosaur. You should hear my engine when it roars. Pull off in the floor and it sound like my dinosaur.
Anyways, this song's fire, but when I listen to it on Apple Music afterwards, it sounds so quiet. Bass does not bump like it does on SoundCloud. She's yours. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Like a dinosaur. You should hear my engine when it roars. Pull off in the floor and it sound like.
It sounds shitty. It sounds way worse than this.
You should hear my engine when it roars. Pull off in the floor and it sound like.
It sounds so good on SoundCloud, but on Spotify it does not hit nearly the same. The guy who put them up could have mixed them differently for both platforms, who knows? I remember actually downloading the version from SoundCloud and putting it into my Apple Music library and just bumping that one instead because it sounded so much better. Anyways, with all that bullshit out of the way, let's get to the
Master EQ.
Master EQing is kind of overrated, in my opinion. I found this other EQ from, I think deadmau5 was talking about it. This one is nice because you get kind of a, you get almost like a, how does this work? I like to have the straight line. So let's do this and let's brick wall. And basically you really don't need anything below 15. No speaker system is spitting out hertz less than 15, and humans can't hear it very well, so it's not really important. This is the frequencies we're missing out on. Oh no! If you can hear something, that's a miracle. Most subs don't go below 20, I don't think. So if no one can hear it, why do you even care? Well, the mix can hear it. So if you want your song to be lower in LUFS, then you have to cut this unnecessary stuff. You also really don't need anything above 20K. Oh no, we're missing out on this. No, I could hear that so well. That was the best part of the song I'm cutting right there. Like, that's just a horrible sound. I'm honestly gonna cut it 1600. Who cares? No one cares. No one can hear it. If I can hear it, it's like in my ear, and I don't. Who the fuck wants that? Not me. Cool. Anyways, let's move on to the.
Wave shaper.
Oh, one of my favorites. Wave shaper. This is not something that's good to put on your master, but I can't resist. God, this plugin makes me feel good. This is basically your soft clipper, but it has AIDS. It's a distortion plugin. This will clip the hell out of your shit. But basically, if we put this here. Oh god, that's horrible. Why would you do that? We can have this horribleness mixed with the actual track. So pick what you like. Oh, and I like that. I like that pretty good. There's a bunch of stuff that you can do with this that I don't really know. Anyways, it's a super fun thing to slap on to add a bit of distortion. I love the way distortion sounds. If you want a clean mix, this is not for you. Let's move along to something a bit more dangerous. The limit. Ah, finally. The limiter. This helpful guy is going to make sure that you don't have anything clipping outside of 0 dB, which is not a great place to have any instruments. But you can do all sorts of evil shit with this. We can turn up the gain to make everything peak. And oh god, you can compress everything that's above a certain level. You can distort things that are above a certain level. You have your ceiling, which will basically raise the amount that it'll start clipping at. It's lowering everything that's louder than 0. So if I turn up the ceiling, 0 is now 6 decibels. So it's not going to be cutting anything because I don't have anything that loud. But really, you don't really need it. If you don't have anything above 0, then you don't really need this. But it's an incredible tool. It's a great tool. Now let's get into something incredibly dangerous. Before you say, what the fuck, Closet? You were just saying all those AI tools were so good. And then you slap Ozone on the master. What's wrong with you? Let me explain myself, all right? So there's things that I like about Ozone, but it's also one of the reasons I've been ass at mastering for a number of years. I have an iffy relationship with this plugin. It's made a bunch of my masters in the past sound way better than they could have when I didn't know shit. But that's what's so dangerous about it. So basically how this thing works is you play the loudest part of your song and it'll try its absolute best to pry the mental illness out of your mix. And now we have the master that it's created for us. This is not good. This is a bad thing. So let's take a look at what it did. It took the waveform and assumed that it was EDM, which congratulations. And then it did all these things. This thing only works well 50% of the time. If you don't know what the fuck you're doing and you slap this on, you're gonna be fucked because this has no clue what it's doing. This is where the plugin becomes dangerous. It's so powerful and it has so many things. So it absolutely has the power to turn your track into shit garbage if you don't know what you're doing because you won't even know. Also remember that you can't mix after you slap this on. This is the final thing. And this is also going to assume that you're doing nothing special. Oh, EDM. So it's going to mix it the exact same way it mixes all EDM, which can make your shit sound really generic. So here's what I'm going to do with it. See, look at this. So now it's boosting up this 20 hertz to God knows what. I think this EQ it put on is ass. The impact is really interesting. I actually really like what it does here, is it kind of like sweeps the whoosh, makes your sounds hit really well. I'm not exactly sure how it works. And that's the reality of that. Now this stereo imager, this is good, but it can really mess your track up. I'm just gonna summarize here because this editing is taking way too goddamn long. The stereo imager becomes a problem when you have any other intentional stereo shaping going on. If you have things specifically shifted to certain places, it's basically gonna say fuck all that and do its own thing. You should really just be stereo shaping things individually to get your intended sound. Really, all these things with Ozone, a lot of it's good, but when you have this thing that just slaps them all on for for you. You can't make the intentional decisions that you want to make, especially if you don't know what it's
Shut
doing.
the fuck up.
I'm watching this part again now, and it's actually just really pissing me off. Also, the rest of this video is a rant. I don't care if you watch this part. It doesn't matter. All these other YouTubers get to sit down for an hour, talk shit, and turn off the camera and just post it up. Instead, I got to do all this brain rot ass bullshit. It's what I've locked myself into. It's what's happening. I get to do a fucking rant. I'm doing a rant. It's happening right now. There's nothing you can do about it. Also, if any of you are even thinking about leaving a comment about my girlfriend and how she's not real and that's just a stock image, she is in fact real. I actually took that picture myself of her like chilling there, and she's got her hand on her head. She's like gripping the pillows, you know, because she's in bed. You know, she's just kind of chill there, you know, with that look in her eyes. She's actually looking me directly in the eyes in that image. I was wearing the Meta glasses, which is why it looks like she's looking in the camera. She's actually looking me directly in the eyes because of how in love she is with me. It's also worth noting that she is extremely attractive, which is why I'm worried about these types of comments showing up, accusing me and her of not having a, you know, very deep romantic relationship. I really don't think those comments are necessary or welcome. So I just strongly recommend, if you're feeling like leaving that type of comment, to just keep it to yourself. So don't even think about commenting that she's not real, because she is real. And if she wasn't real, then that would obviously be found out very quickly, and it would be pretty embarrassing for me. But she is real, so there's no problem with that. So I don't want to see any fucking comments about it. Anyways, in the original cut of this video, I have this whole fucking spiel about, like, oh, here's the advice for you who stayed to the end of the video, because if you did, you here's the one piece of advice that I couldn't say early on. Like, it doesn't matter. By all means, if you don't care what the music sounds like and you just want it to be loud enough to blow out the speakers of your buddy's Honda Civic, just fucking use Ozone. Like, none of this shit I'm saying in this video fucking matters at all. If you don't give a shit about like all the specifics and all the fucking bullshit, just use Ozone. I'm also in the video saying like, oh, Ozone made me so bad for so long, and well, that's because I couldn't care. Like, every time I tried to care, I just went into like the mental pit of agony and despair of trying to figure out what needed to happen and comparing it to other songs and doing all this stuff. Who has time for that? No one's got time for that. No one who is making music for fun has time to sit for 2 hours comparing their previous version of the track to the new version to see if it's punchier or not. I went through 17 versions of the song that you're listening to in this video. 17 versions. I reverted back to the 7th version and it sounded leagues better. Countless hours lost of like re-exporting and like trying to figure, oh no, what's going on? I'm just doing bullshit. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. So seriously, don't let this stuff tax you. Do specific things in the mix. Don't get to the mastering stage and be like, oh, I need to master it to be better. Because you don't. It should just be about turning shit up at that point. Like, mastering is really about taking the specific details of what the song is supposed to be like and amplifying that and making sure that is conveyed along with the loudness bullshit you need to do in order to get your shit loud on streaming. That's what it's about. None of this other shit. So don't waste your time, dude. If you can't figure it out, who cares? Keep making music. Do not stick to one project for forever and ever and, oh, I need to tweak this so it's perfect. It's not going to be perfect. Music is a product of its time. That's why the year is in the song name. If you never move forward and you keep mixing and mastering the same song over and over, you're never going to get anywhere. Keep making more stuff. Don't worry about all the bullshit online telling you, oh, if you just did this, your tracks would be so good, because you just have to learn. That's what pisses me off about this the most, is that the mastering is really about, it's very intentional, but who cares how a message is conveyed sonically? In reality, I have no time to care about that. Average Joe Schmo making rap music on his laptop doesn't give a fuck about that. Average Sally Smeckles isn't gonna give a fuck about that when she's listening to the song through her fucking AirPods. So who the fuck are we trying to impress here? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares are the people who really want to make this intentional shit. And that is a very small amount of people. People who want to hear very intentional things, people who want to make very intentional choices to make their music barely sound different. This is a very, very narrow amount of people. It's not worth it. There's no time for that. I can guarantee you it's not worth the torment of doing this shit. Be intentional, make your shit special. Have your master make those parts stand out. That's it. That's about it.
Oh wow, this guy thinks he's so inspirational. Fuck you.